The biggest Disney fan event of the year is almost here. The rumors are flying faster than ever, and in just a few weeks, we will finally find out what's real and what is pure internet nonsense. Today, we're breaking down every announcement we think Disney will make during the Disney Experiences Showcase at D23 2026. From Tropical Americas and Villains Land to the projects nobody's talking about yet, we're separating the locks from the long shots. All that coming up now on Idiot's Guide to Imagineering. Well, what is up, Imagine Idiots? I'm Steven.
I'm Katie.
And I'm Jenny.
And you're listening to a special D23 predictions episode of Idiot's Guide to Imagineering, or as I like to call it, our Super Bowl.
Our time to shine.
That's right. Go team, big sports fans over here.
Go team attraction announcements.
Woo!
Woo!
Jenny, being a real sports person, is like, can y'all stop? Because for Disney Parks fans, this is the event. This is where Disney tells us what the next several years of the parks are going to look like. And in just a few weeks, we'll finally be in Anaheim to see it all happen.
Steven, Jenny, and I are so pumped to be flying out to Anaheim in a few weeks, and we'll be your boots on the ground for the entire event. And getting in a little time at the parks, of course. We're meeting up with some of our friends like Emily from Make It Magical, Katrina from Magical Travel with Katrina, and Kim, aka Disney.SME on Instagram. And of course, a few others. But be sure to let us know if you will be out there. We have an order of custom IGTI swag that just arrived, and we cannot wait to give it out. And I have to say, it is so cute.
It's really cute.
Very, very cute.
I love it. I can't stop looking at it.
I know. I cannot wait. I need this trip to be here ASAP. I'm still living with FOMO from missing the 2024 event, so I'm planning on going extra hard this time.
Extra hard.
Oh my gosh. We went so hard last time.
I got COVID.
You got COVID, yeah. But I'm excited because we haven't been, the three of us, together since 2019.
Mm-hmm.
So we're back
funnest.
and reunited. The best trip. So we're doing it all over again. But I think it's funny because while we're planning everything, what we want to do and see, it is very clear how different each of our Disney styles are. You got Jenny over here. She's the first in line for anything historical, anything that is like
Yep.
dated, in a good way. Like, I'm not joking. Move out of her way because she is going to knock you down to see a seasoned animator presentation. And
Accurate.
I'm specifically talking about Ron Clements.
Oh, can't wait. Cannot wait to see Ron. Then Katie is throwing elbows in line for Jonas Brothers podcast recording.
You know it. You know I'll be there.
Look
Here's
out.
your most millennial.
That's
I'm
right.
going.
Joe Bros fan over here.
Jonas, I'm coming for you by
I'm
myself.
scared.
And Steven and Jenny are going to pretend they're too cool for it while they're sitting front row at the Alan Menken concert. But I know they're really wishing they were at the Jonas podcast.
Totally.
I mean, if you think about two different styles of music, night and day. But honestly, that is fair. But between the three of us, I think we're going to be able to cover so much of the event for that very reason that we may be a little bit split up. But, we're also working on bringing back our live stream of the Disney Experiences Showcase like we did in 2024. So keep an eye on our Instagram at Idiots Imagineering for more details on that. Nothing is guaranteed with that, but we're going to try to make it happen like we did last time.
I didn't tell you guys. I was at Best Buy the other day and I went to buy like a little tripod, like a small one that doesn't extend.
Mhm.
And I was like, oh, this one's so nice. I can plug my phone right in. And it said it was $20. And I was like, oh, wow, this is a good deal. And it had a little microphone. And I was like,
What?
that's crazy.
For 20?
It was $100 at the cash register. I had picked up the wrong one. And I was like,
no.
and then I was that person that I was like, I thought this was $20. I have to go. And I quickly ran away from the counter. So I still don't have a tripod, but I'm working on it,
Just expense it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, sent straight to your house. Well, And if you're going to D23, again, let us know. We'd love to meet you, hang out, hand out some of that swag, say hi. We want to find our people. You are our people. Come find us.
Yes. All right. Now let's actually talk about why everyone's here. This year, the Disney Experiences Showcase is happening on August 15th at 7 p.m. Pacific time and hosted by Neil Patrick Harris. The event will loosely be themed around my favorite attraction, Carousel of Progress. So I cannot wait to be in the room when it happens.
One thing I'm especially excited for outside of the showcase itself is the new Imagineering Horizons Pavilion. Disney says it'll be the largest Imagineering pavilion they've ever brought to D23, with exhibits highlighting people, the process, and the possibilities behind Disney parks around the world. So if it's anything like Behind the Dreams in 2024, we're going to be spending a lot of our time in there.
Yeah, and we need to get there early because the lines for that baby,
Oh my gosh.
crazy.
We couldn't even get in the last day.
The last day, once they announced everything, they had all the models out for Tropical Americas and Lion King. We couldn't get in there.
Nope.
Oh my God.
Couldn't get anywhere near it.
We're rope dropping that baby.
Mm-hmm.
Well, this episode isn't just about throwing random guesses at the wall. We've been following construction progress, permits, concept art, announcements, and Disney's investment strategy for quite a while now, especially if you listen to our City of the Kingdoms. And while none of us have any insider information, we think there are some announcements that are pretty much more likely than others.
Exactly. And we don't think this year's showcase is going to be as earth-shattering as 2024. Instead, we think Disney's going to spend most of its time expanding on projects they've already announced rather than unveiling a bunch of brand new lands.
Of course, we're still hoping for a few surprises because let's be honest, it wouldn't be D23 without at least one moment that makes the entire room lose its mind.
Ugh, I can't wait for whatever that moment may be. Hope there are multiple. But we have organized today's episode into 3 categories. First is the locks. These are the announcements that we'd honestly be shocked not to see. Then we'll move on to the maybes. These are projects that feel possible but definitely aren't guaranteed. And then finally, a couple of long shots, some announcements that we think are probably coming eventually, just probably not this year.
So, with that, let's start with what we think is the safest bet of the entire presentation, Tropical Americas.
Yeah, I think this is the biggest lock of the night. And this is Disney Animal Kingdom's first major expansion since Pandora. And Disney has reached a point where they need to move beyond concept art and start explaining what guests will actually experience. We know Encanto and Indiana Jones are the anchors, but D23 is where we expect to finally learn maybe some attraction names, ride systems, how it all ties together, and more exploration and discovery of this land.
So let's talk first Encanto. Encanto is probably the attraction fans are most excited to learn about because Disney has kept almost everything under wraps. We still don't know the attraction name, ride system, or even the basic guest experience. What makes this one interesting, though, is that Disney has moved away from simply recreating movie scenes. Their recent attractions are designed to make guests feel like they've stepped into the story. So we're really curious whether this will become a traditional dark ride, a trackless experience, or something entirely new built around the casita. I really, really, really am excited for this.
This is a big one.
Yeah, it is a big one.
The concept art of the land itself really caught my attention.
Mm-hmm.
But when I watched this movie, I don't remember if it was season 3 or season 4 when we tried to come up with what we were going to imagine our
Yeah, it was season 2 finale.
Yes.
It was a long time ago, yeah.
Yes, okay. And so I think I got Encanto and I hadn't seen the movie yet and I watched the movie. I was so excited watching it, thinking of the possibilities that could come from it. And obviously, I took a stab at my own idea for it, but I just thought it was such a fun story. It's so creative and it's such a unique way to bring another culture in with this magical element of it that makes it fun and exciting. And that is exactly the type of attraction that is needed at Animal Kingdom.
I agree. And I think the house being alive is such a good idea that translates so well to a ride in a way that everything can be moving. The kinetics of this experience will be insane, like watching shutters move or drawers open and close and like shingles on the roof that are, even before you get on the ride from outside, seeing the casita from the ground. I think it's almost like you could see the people creating the movie and seeing it translate into a real immersive experience.
Right.
And I think they were really vague with the concept art and very strategic and intentional about cutting it off exactly where you see the heads of the people, but you don't see what they're riding in,
Oh, yeah.
to
Oh.
where
That's a good
people
point.
have speculated, is it a boat? Is it a trackless ride? Is it an omnimover? Nobody knows based off of the way they cut
Mhm.
that in the perfect spot. My guess is this is going to be some type of omnimover, maybe like you see at Imagination, where they separate. And it's not like a
Mhm.
haunted mansion style, but where they can kind of separate and do different things and go into different spaces and have different experiences. But I don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think I kind of agree with an Omni Rider, an Omni Mover. I think trackless is kind of the big thing right now,
Hmm.
but there's also so many attractions with the trackless,
Right.
so many trackless attractions right now that it just kind of almost feels like it's what's expected.
Mhm.
I mean, I know you can do so much with them and it's so great, but I don't know. I just kind of feel like that's a little bit of like what people are expecting.
Yeah.
So
It's a great ride system, but it's a little
it
played out.
is.
We've got
It is.
2 in Hollywood studios, you know what I
Right.
mean? Like,
Right.
so I think it's gonna be something we haven't seen before. And
Yeah.
it
It'll be
may be
interesting.
a new version of something, some old type of system, but I think it's gonna be new tech.
Hmm.
I could see that. But I don't think that's necessarily fair to say that there's too many trackless rides because I think also right now in a theme park standpoint, looking at roller coasters,
Mhm.
launch coasters is very it.
Right.
Hmm.
And Universal has Velocicoaster, and now they're gonna have the Fast and the Furious one, which is gonna be kind of speed based and stuff. So I think it's just kind of the way the technology is moving, and I don't think there's any harm in having a lot of trackless rides. I think just as long as I think we will get some technological like breakthrough announcements, like something we've never seen before
Mhm.
for it. So I'm fine with having more trackless rides and having, new elements within it be kind of the new surprise that we haven't seen before.
Yeah.
Yeah, and if you think about it,
Yeah.
it is kind of the way of the dark ride future.
Mhm.
It
And back in
is.
the early days, it was all the same. Mr. Toad's,
Mhm.
Snow White,
Right.
all Winnie the Pooh, they were all the same exact type of ride system over and over, right next to each other. So that
Mhm.
it's not that it wouldn't be the first time we've seen it done, but
Right.
I'd be happy either way. I love a trackless ride
Right.
system. I've never experienced one that I didn't love, so
No.
happy with it. But I'm excited to see where this goes.
I do
Mhm.
want to say one last thing. I know that we've all kind of wanted more information about this, but I'm actually okay with this land that while we did get some vivid concept art, the rides were pretty much kept in the dark. And I think I'm okay with that until we're much closer along in the process because I think a lot of times we get our hopes up when we
Hmm.
see this
Yeah.
initial design. And I think we've talked about this before, maybe off the show, but I think and I've watched a lot of YouTube videos about Villains Land, and like it probably will look massively different from the
Right.
initial concept art that we saw. And I would almost rather that not be the case. I would rather them give us as real as they can kind of visualize right now. And maybe that's we don't get everything right now and get to see what it's going to be or what to expect, but then have more of that information as we get closer. So then we get more of the feel of what this is going to be rather than like, wait a minute, I thought that we were going to do this and none of that's
Yeah.
here. And what is this and that? So I'm okay with not knowing what things are until we're much later in the process if it's going to be more realistic.
I agree. I think Disney's been burned by this countless times
Yeah.
where people can identify where the budget was cut based off of,
Mhm.
something that was in a concept art that people were excited about, like the boat on the tree on top of Tiana's Bayou
Yeah.
Yeah.
that never showed up and things like that. So I think this is their way of saying, let's make sure this is actually finalized and
Mhm.
happening before we get
Mhm.
people to be excited about something that's not going to be there.
Yeah.
And look at Universal. Like that concept art for Epic Universe was like spot on
Mhm.
to what actually
Mhm.
exists. And I think until they're ready to that point, don't release it to me.
Yeah.
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 Keep it away.
And moving on to Indiana Jones. So, Indiana Jones is fascinating because Disney has to create something that feels different from the attractions already in Disneyland and Tokyo. We think this version will lean more into exploration, archaeology, and discovery rather than retelling scenes from the films, which makes it a natural fit for Animal Kingdom. The biggest thing we're looking for is story. We may not get the official attraction name yet, but we'd love to understand what adventure we're actually going on and how Imagineering is making this version feel unique.
What's the timeline for this one to open again?
So there's no official announcement, but the speculation is that this entire land will open sometime next year. People are predicting mid to late 2027. So we're
Mhm.
kind of at that point where we're within a year or about a year out. So it's kind of on the cusp of, do you reveal it all now or do you
Right.
hold it in? There's been a lot of conversation around the idea of announcing more of this during the holiday special because
Okay.
everyone's watching the television and thinking
Mhm.
about Disney and saying, "Oh, it's Christmas time, let's start planning our trip to Disney," and seeing an announcement about a name of an attraction. This could go for Indiana Jones or Encanto, and seeing these first time ever revealed, and using that as a way to get people to watch too, is to say, "We're
Mhm.
going to reveal information on this new land," and that gets people to tune in that normally wouldn't. So I think there's kind of this ambiguity about when is it opening and what are we going to get in what format and when.
Because I was gonna say
Yeah.
I could see us maybe getting a name, and then maybe the holidays
Mhm.
getting like
Yeah.
an opening time frame or something like that, like spring.
Yeah,
Or
right, exactly.
Mhm.
That's when they say, fall 2027 or whatever it may be. But yeah, I think it could be any variation of that. I think they'll still withhold a little bit, but I think this is the one we're closest to opening.
Right.
So they're going to want to give us their progress
More.
on it.
yeah.
What are you thinking?
For Indiana Jones,
Yeah.
now, if anyone listened to our season premiere, Katie did a storyline for this attraction that was based on a mythological gigantic bat.
Mhm.
And it's gotten me so excited that I want that to be what it is. I don't know what it will be, but Katie did her research in that, and there is a lot of bat imagery on the concept art and along the walls of the refurb walls that are on outside in the actual park. So my hope is that they're going to lean into something monster
Mhm.
related for
Too
this.
coincidental, like
Right.
Yeah.
the amount of
Hmm.
placement for it.
Yeah. So, very optimistic about this. I think it's a really cool opportunity for them to create something entirely new that I feel like Imagineering doesn't always get that opportunity to just
Mhm.
go wild with something. Like you have an IP and you can do anything you want with it.
That's true.
Mhm.
Mhm.
Hmm. Now, let's move over to Piston Peak, the new Cars Land for Magic Kingdom. We're expecting a lot of discussion about this. This is interesting because it represents Disney kind of continuing this trend of replacing outdated attractions with larger immersive lands rather than adding individual rides. And the centerpiece of this is going to be the new Cars themed e-ticket attraction, but Disney has also confirmed a second attraction as well that we haven't heard anything about.
And the e-ticket attraction is the biggest mystery here. We know it will be inspired by Cars, but Disney has not revealed the attraction name, storyline, or any ride system details. The expectation is that this will be a majorly innovative attraction, and Disney has recently shown they are interested in creating attractions that work for a wider audience rather than just traditional thrill rides. So we're expecting Disney to reveal probably official attraction name, ride system, storyline settings, and how guests will interact in the world of Piston Peak.
Yeah, I think like especially with the last thing you said, I think like Monsters Inc. and the
Mhm.
Human Day, we're going to kind of get this understanding of what we're doing at Piston Peak.
Right,
Mhm.
right. Yeah,
Yeah.
I agree. I think they're going to set something up like that, like it's some special day, or
Mhm.
maybe we're going to Luigi's.
Yeah, true. If
Ah,
you think back to
maybe.
last week, we're trying to
Mhm.
figure out what we're doing in Radiator
Yeah. Why
Springs.
are we
Now we'll
there?
we'll know why
Yeah.
we're in Piston Peak.
Yes.
You'll hear us screaming when the storyline is announced if it's
Yep,
eerily similar.
Yep.
that's right. And I also think about the ride system here specifically because they've been teasing this from the very beginning, showing these off-roading,
Yeah.
completely
Yeah.
trackless, like ATV style cars.
Mhm.
And it looks absolutely insane and like
It
something that would
does.
never work outdoors in Orlando with hundreds of and thousands of guests flowing through them
Mhm.
daily. So I'm curious to know what that's actually going to look like. And I think they've been teasing it for so long, we may get that information.
Yeah.
Ooh, that'd be crazy. That would be
Mhm.
Would.
exciting.
Yeah, and for the second Piston Peak attraction, this is where things get really interesting. So Disney's confirmed Piston Peak will include another attraction beyond the e-ticket, but we know almost nothing about it. So our prediction is that Disney may use this opportunity to showcase something else innovative. We don't expect another standard spinner or carnival style flat ride. Disney has been investing heavily in new technology and kinetic experiences. So this could be a change for Imagineering to create something smaller in scale but still unique.
I forgot this was even happening.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's funny because when you look at the concept art they've released, there's like a little circle pen. It looks like a little horse ring, and it's completely empty. And so you know that's where it's going.
Mhm.
Yeah.
But and then there's also been a lot of like patents that have been released and
Yeah.
things that look like cars that are driving along the road, but they're on kind of like a Dumbo arm to where they could
Ooh.
like hit a speed bump or something or a ramp and fly over them, but they're still connected by an arm on the and like
Okay.
still
Like the
spinning
Donkey
in a
Kong
circle. Yeah,
ride
yeah,
when you
kind of
go
like
over
that. Yeah,
the
yeah.
bridge.
But
Oh,
but
Yeah.
less roller coaster, more just
right.
like in a circle. But
That's
so I
fun.
think there's a prediction of that. I don't know. This one they've really kept hush hush, and I think it's because it's something we've never seen before.
Well,
Yeah.
we talked about this on another episode a couple weeks back, but they have that patent for which people really think will be used throughout Cars Land for that 3D projector
Yes. Yeah.
system
Yeah.
that they're going to have where it can
Mhm.
basically like pop up anywhere and create like geysers or can
Hmm.
create like trees or different effects and stuff. So I think they're going to showcase some really cool stuff in this land.
Yeah. This one, I think we'll find out exactly what this attraction is.
Mm-hmm. But let's head over to my personal favorite project, Monstropolis. This is
Ooh.
another project where Disney has already confirmed the direction but has not revealed all the details. The headline attraction is obviously the suspended door coaster, which would bring one of Pixar's most iconic concepts to life in a way we never experienced before. But beyond the coaster, we expect Disney to provide a clearer picture of what the entire land looks like, including dining, atmosphere, and how guests transition from Hollywood studios into the world of Monstropolis.
And one of the most interesting elements of Monstropolis is the Glob Theater.
Ooh, yes.
Now, while the door coaster will get most of the attention, the inclusion of a dedicated entertainment venue could be a major part of what makes this land feel complete. And I think the big question is what type of experience Disney creates here. We could see anything from traditional stage show to some type of immersive multimedia performance that maybe combines projection and practical sets and characters and technology. I mean, Disney's been moving toward entertainment experiences that feel more like attractions rather than simply shows that guests sit and watch. So this could be an opportunity to create something that expands the definition of what a theme park show looks like.
Yeah.
Hey, those two shows at Epic Universe that we went to that I hadn't done before, the How to Train Your Dragon and the Ministry of
Mhm.
Magic show, the Harry Potter one, were phenomenal and absolutely blew my mind that I was seeing something at this production level at a theme park, which I feel like I had that very same feeling the first time I ever saw the Lion King show at Animal Kingdom.
Hmm.
And
Yeah.
I feel like we haven't gotten something to that extent in a long time. And seeing Universal do it with today's technology makes me so excited. So I think that we are definitely going to get some sort of show experience in this theater. I think it's highlighted in the concept art for a reason. Like you can see the theater there. So I think it is going to be a pivotal part of the land. And I think it'll be a lot of fun. I'm really
Mhm.
excited. So I think they'll kind of next level it. I think they have to.
I agree,
yeah.
and I think we can thank Universal for that push because
Yes.
I
Putting the
think
pressure on him.
exactly.
Yeah.
I think in Orlando as a whole, those two shows are leading the way when it comes to daytime routine shows.
Mhm.
And I don't think Disney's doing anything like that. And I'm not
Yeah.
talking about nighttime spectaculars and
No.
Fantasmic and things like that, but I'm talking about in just a standard operation show cycle. We're
Mhm.
not getting that level that Epic Universe
Oh,
is
yeah.
doing. And so I think Disney knows they've got to bring this in a way that we've never seen before. And I'm really hopeful that we get that, and especially with Monsters IP because there's so much you can do with that,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
it's so fun, and and you also have to think we've had a Monsters Inc. show for 2 decades at this point
Mhm.
to where we can't have that again.
No.
Like
Right.
we the bar is low but also that kind of makes the bar high, if you ask me, because the expectation is that whatever this is, will blow Monsters Inc. laugh floor out of the water. I'm also curious if Mike and Sully will be in the show, or if it's going to be something completely separate. How are we going to see them throughout the land is a big question that I have.
So I love that, obviously. Obviously, I'm a big Mikey W fan.
She's the biggest Zowski of us all.
But I kind of hope they're not in the show.
Yeah.
Like, I kind of hope we focus more on some of the other characters and the weirdness or crazy things that are happening in Monstropolis. Like, we got a bunch of movies with Mike and Sully, and they're going to be a pivotal part of the ride, I'm sure, and throughout the land. So let's give the other monsters a shot.
I like that. I love the world building idea of expanding characters and even bringing in new characters.
Yeah.
That maybe we haven't met yet.
Yeah, I think that could be a lot of fun.
And then there's the door coaster, obviously, the centerpiece of Monstropolis, and one of the most technically fascinating projects Disney is currently developing. The challenge with this attraction is that the iconic sequence from Monsters, Inc. is not just about a coaster. The humor and excitement come from the chaos of the door vault, the constantly changing environments, and the feeling that anything can happen. Disney now has to translate that into a physical attraction that captures the energy of the original scene while still functioning as a repeatable theme park experience. At D23, we expect to finally learn more about the ride system, the attraction storyline, and how Imagineering is approaching the famous door sequence. If executed well, this could become one of Disney's most unique coaster experiences because the storytelling possibilities are unlike anything they've built before.
They better not water this thing down. That's all I got to say.
Especially because this has been in demand from fans for years.
Right.
You know, and I've heard a lot of kind of armchair Imagineers, Imagineering ideas about what could happen. And as people are seeing the building being built, they're noticing different pieces of the building and different rooms, quote unquote. And I think it's DSNY Newscast who created kind of a mock-up of what he thinks it would look like. And it's weird to say this because it's not a spoiler because we don't know anything about this, but his prediction is there's an idea that a door could open that's lit up and you go out of the building into like another area, like into like the Abominable Snowman's, like you're up in the mountains. And then a door open, like spin around in there for a second and the door opens back up and you come back into the door room. So like this idea that like the doors are activating. And I think that's a really cool idea. And I hope we do see something like that.
Yeah. I mean, as cool as it would be to just be hanging out in like the office building, or like, I don't know, the factory. Like, I want to go into those rooms. I want to be a part of this. I want to see it all. Let's
So-
As long as we get the Mama, there's another gator.
In the house? Another gator? Give me that
And they
show.
whack him over the you know,
Get that gator.
and he changes colors and all these different
Yep.
Wow, that's straight out of Jenny's hometown right there.
That's like my favorite part. It's so funny.
Exactly.
Oh my goodness.
Exactly. Reminds her of home.
Oh my gosh. Moving on.
Okay, well, let's talk about food because we're always hungry around here. So, one thing we're really watching for is how Disney fills out Monstropolis beyond the headline attractions. We know Harryhausen's is coming, but there's still a lot we don't know about the rest of the land. The former Pizza Rizzo location isn't really visible in the concept art, so we're curious whether Disney transforms that into another restaurant, a lounge, or an entirely new experience. There's a rumor it's a pizza joint but run by two monster brothers. And because the monster world already has such a distinct personality, this is a great opportunity for Imagineering to create dining and retail that feel like they're actually part of Monstropolis instead of just serving the land. I think whatever Disney announces here will tell us just how ambitious they really want this project to be.
Yeah, I agree. I think this land is the closest thing, and I think we've talked about this before, the closest thing to Zootopia land when it comes to the level of creativity you can go to and what links you can go to with merch and food and creating all of these like viral Instagrammable things you must have. You've got to get this popsicle. You've got to get this, you know, this trinket that they're selling, and like they can go crazy with this. Like, just think about the things they already have for Monsters Inc., like the tail that Kaity put on of Sully at Disneyland. And I think they're going to be able to go absolutely nuts with this, and I hope they do.
Yeah.
What was that thing they had last summer with all of the Pixar merch? Was it like Pixar Fest or something like that at Disneyland? And they had
Yeah.
like,
Pixar
yeah,
Fest,
they
and they
did. I was
did
there
they did
for
like a
that. Yeah.
parade. They did it.
yeah, like
Yep.
just think of what they could do with
Oh
just
my
like
gosh.
specifically focusing on just the monsters.
Mhm.
Like that stuff was so cute. Like the parades, the merch, like all of that stuff was so
Yeah.
cute.
And I want to see things like, in the movie when they're walking to work and there's a giant eyeball looking through the window and it's like filled up the
Yes.
whole. I want things like that where we're
Yeah.
looking and like the eyeball's moving. There's like kinetics of everything. Every
Yeah.
direction you're looking, something's moving or happening or
That's
being
that's
weird.
exactly what I was just thinking. And because you were just talking about it with like Encanto, with like the shingles moving and stuff.
Mhm.
And I mean, you see it in with Universal and Harry Potter. People like to see things moving and see this life
Mhm.
go on around them. And especially in Monstropolis, because it's such a different world, it would be
Right.
so cool. Like I was thinking about like the monster walking to work and he like falls through the manhole,
Yes.
like
Yeah.
like
Because he's a glob of
just
blob.
like just seeing this like totally different world than
Mhm.
And what if they use that projector thing to like make something like
Oh,
that, where he
true.
like just disappears
Uh-huh.
into the ground or like into the drain or whatever?
Yeah.
Yes,
That'd be
whatever that is.
crazy.
Yeah.
His eyeballs and teeth are left on the grate in the movie.
Oh,
Like, what if those are like glued to the ground or something? And it's like
Yeah,
you knew
you
he just
just
fell
find
through there.
those
And there's like a
around.
speaker under there. He's like,
Yes.
hello, hello.
Yes.
oh my gosh, that's so funny.
Mhm.
Yeah, I
That is
hope
so
so.
funny.
Yeah, I'm excited. And I like the idea, like this rumor about the two brothers running a pizza joint
Yeah.
because,
Yeah.
I mean, it's been a pizza joint this whole time. So, and that's another world building opportunity to create some new characters, therefore creating new merch, therefore extending the storyline of Monsters Inc. So,
Yeah.
yeah.
At first I was like, not another pizza place. Can't we do something else? But then I remembered you could just have a big Mike Wazowski pizza with
You're
one
right.
giant pepperoni or like a meatball in the middle.
Yeah.
With like a little olive for his.
the
You
one-eyed
could.
monster.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
You could.
All right, I'll allow it now.
Okay, all right.
Pizza's back on the
I was
menu.
about to say, pizza's back in for 2028 or whenever this opens.
Oh.
Oh, okay, let's move on to the Big Daddy
Big Daddy.
or the Big Mama, depending
Big
on which
Mama.
villain you like best. Villain's Land is probably the most anticipated project on this entire list, but I think everybody needs to manage their expectations here. This project is still much further out than anything else we've talked about, meaning I think they're not going to reveal every detail yet.
Mm-hmm.
But that said, D23 is the perfect opportunity to show updated concept art, clarify the direction of the land. There's, been so much rumor and speculation about changes and things, and I don't know if this is the opportunity, but I hope it is that they squash that and give us a better understanding of what this project actually is.
So I don't think it's my most anticipated. I think I'm more anticipated for the other lands we spoke about. I'm nervous for this one to see
Yeah.
what happens.
It could go 100 directions.
Yeah.
And some of them are incredible, unbelievable,
Mhm.
and some of them are okay.
Yeah.
from
But I
what
think
we've
they know the
heard.
pressure's on for this one because this is
Mhm.
Yeah.
the
Mhm.
most anticipated project.
Yeah.
I do wish they would this will never happen, but I do wish they would just go rogue and make it like very like scary and like not really
Super
like
scary.
worried
Right,
about
right,
like
yeah.
if this is okay for
Mhm.
little kids
Yeah.
and stuff, kind of like true to the villain's theme, but
Mhm.
it is Magic Kingdom, so and Michael Eisner doesn't work there anymore, so they're not getting another alien encounter type of
That's true.
experience
That's
there. So
Mhm.
one and done. Well, I think the biggest thing we're looking for right now is clarity. The original announcement created a lot of questions because Disney showed a very broad vision without many specifics. What we expect, updated artwork, I definitely think so. Better understanding of the land layout, possible attraction types, and confirmation of storytelling direction. We also wouldn't be surprised if Disney announces some kind of food and beverage location because villains naturally lend themselves to unique dining experiences. I do
Yeah.
think we'll
Yeah.
get that. I think we will
Mhm.
get some dining hints, or at least maybe the villain behind the
Yeah.
Right. Yeah,
the
yeah.
restaurant.
Do we
I hope
also think
so.
we're getting a name for the land, an official name?
I would think we might, because that's something that like it can, and typically in the way Disney names things is broad enough to not give you too much detail.
Mm-hmm.
They usually go for names that are a little bit loose,
Mm-hmm.
if you know what I mean. Like everything
Yeah.
is adventure or
Yeah.
magical, or I think we can expect something like Shadowland
Villain's
or
murderous adventure.
Yeah.
right, yeah.
Mm.
Villain's murderous adventure. That Katie really is
Wow.
leaning into
Katie
this
and
dark.
Amanda would be their day one.
Katie- Villain's true crime. I murdered my roommate.
Amanda and I, biggest fans.
Oh my
Lined up a road drop for that one.
That would be the shock and the reaction of the night if we got
And
that.
we murder the
Mhm.
guests on stage.
Yeah.
As our piece de resistance.
Wow.
Imagine
my gosh.
evil apple.
Mhm. I think, Jenny, you might be right about this. I think we may get some type of name. I think it's going to be something shadow, something dark, something.
Mhm.
And they also have to be mindful of Darkmoor over at
Mhm.
Epic
Yeah.
Universe now. So they've got to be careful because Universal did beat them to the punch in
I don't care.
a dark haunted land. So
Give me all the dark everywhere.
yeah. But I'm
Everything.
just speaking specifically about naming.
Yeah.
I think they have to be
Oh,
careful about
okay.
what they name it
Yeah.
because of Darkmoor is taken. But I think it'll be something shadow related, something, that's very, I mean, Dr. Facilier is not one of the villains mentioned for the land, but that's very him. But I don't know.
Yeah, I think that's a really big miss.
I agree.
Yeah.
I just
He's
hope
a
villain
very
is
good
not
villain.
in the name of the land.
Yeah, I hope so too. I don't I don't know how they could do this, but I almost don't want them to call themselves villains. Like
Right.
I almost like, what
Yeah.
if this was like their land and they're just like living their lives doing miserable, mean
Right.
things, but like that's just how it works there.
Because they don't think of themselves as villains.
Right.
Yeah,
They're the
yeah.
protagonist
Right.
here. It's more of like an anti-hero
Mhm.
instead of a villain.
Wouldn't that be
Right.
fun?
Like the whole perspective is
Yeah.
that we're seeing this from their
Yeah.
point of view, and they are just doing what they need to do to be the best versions of themselves.
Yeah, they're like, why wouldn't you give your neighbor a poison apple after they just got promoted
Right.
instead of you? Like, why wouldn't you?
Yeah.
It's common
Mhm.
sense.
That's a
Yeah.
good thought.
Do you think
Yeah.
they'll also announce that they'll have those jelly beans like they used to have for Harry Potter that were like joke flavors that were like
oh
really
yeah,
gross,
the Birdie
and then
Bots,
it's like,
every
Oh,
flavor of
yeah,
beans,
and then
so you're gonna eat earwax.
yeah.
Oh,
or,
they
like,
trick you, and one of them is
spicy hot.
actually poison, and you
Yeah.
die right there on the scene, and that's why it's
Murderous.
called
Murderous.
Murderland.
No one makes it out alive.
That's
my
right.
gosh.
That's a fun game.
Yeah.
Show up to the theme park and don't make it out. Well,
All
It worked
right.
for Disney.
what else is going on?
Let's move on from that. So, one project we think could appear because of the theme of this year's Experiences Showcase is Carousel of Progress. Now, Disney's been celebrating its connection to Walt Disney and the original concepts that shaped the company, and Carousel of Progress is one of the clearest examples of that history. So, we're hoping for more details into what the recently announced major overhaul will bring, and specifically what nostalgists like myself can expect in the way of managing loss of historic content.
And we're going to talk about this heavily next week. So definitely listen in
Yes.
for our conversation there.
Yeah.
Yes.
I'm excited. I'm hopeful. I think we will get more details on. I think this is a pretty slam dunk
Mhm.
one that we'll get more details and info
Yep.
on how they're going to do this. I'm very interested to hear what they're going to do.
I honestly love the eras that they chose and the years and decades that they have chosen. So excited
Yeah.
to see what they do with
Well, I
that.
think since it's opening next year, we have to get
Yeah.
an update. I mean, really,
Yeah.
Mhm.
I think people are expecting something.
And I think this is one of those like zhuzhing projects where it's like, it doesn't need a lot of time to be closed and all this, but they
Like
got to keep us
Muppets.
moving. Yeah. But they
Yeah.
got to give us that information like quick.
Yep.
Yeah.
They
I
don't have a
agree.
lot of time.
Yeah.
Well, I do want to focus on another one of my favorite IPs, Coco. So over at Disneyland Resort, the biggest question is Coco. In 2024, Disney announced that a Coco attraction is coming to the resort, but we still know very little about the final form aside from one additional piece of exterior concept art and a location. We haven't seen any vertical construction yet, but we could see Disney reveal additional concept art, storylines, or explain where the project is headed. I almost forgot about this one
I
because
know. We
of
don't-
everything going on.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was just so lost it was one of the first things they announced that whole night. And so
Yeah.
it kind of got lost in the mix.
I was so mad. And then I was
Mhm.
like, just kidding. I'm getting everything I dreamed of.
Right. But I am excited about this because they're building a new show building for this. It's in the back of the park behind Incredicoaster. So
Mhm.
I like when they do that because they can do whatever they want. They're not, I mean, they're confined by the space that they have to build the building, but once inside the building, they do whatever they want because they've built the building. So I think we'll get a little bit more about this. We know it's a boat ride. I don't think you're going to get anything crazy out of this, but I think it's going to be absolutely beautiful.
Yeah.
I think the goal here is to be on par, if not beyond, what the movie visually brings. And
Mhm.
I think that's what we're going to get from this ride. It's going to be visually stunning. I'm expecting it to be like the Navi River journey and the fact that it
Mhm.
probably isn't going to have a drop or things like that, but
Right.
I think it's more about the spectacle of what you're seeing than what you're riding.
Yeah.
Mhm. Sometimes I miss a good storybook ride. Like, I miss a
Yeah.
good dark ride running through it, and not
Mhm.
necessarily like reliving the movie, but just like, I don't know. I miss the Three Caballeros. Like, I could ride in Mexico all day and just enjoy that life,
Sure.
and so I'm
Mhm.
totally fine
Yeah,
with
yeah.
that. But wouldn't it be cool if they had, like, in the water, maybe, like, the water, like, depicts lighting and it's, like, the ancestors or, like,
Ooh,
different
yeah.
things that as you're, like, floating by and stuff. So I think they could still do a lot with it
Oh, yeah.
technologically to make it exciting even if it's not necessarily, like, a thrill e-ticket type of attraction.
I actually
And
love Navi River Journey. I know it doesn't get a lot of
Mhm.
love because everyone adores Flight of Passage,
Mhm.
but I don't know, I love just being in that atmosphere, and then just the animatronic is incredible. Still think
Agreed. Yeah, yeah.
it's amazing. So I actually like having something kind of slow and not overwhelming to really focus on the details of that attraction. So I love it. And I think like Katie said, there's definitely there's time and place for those, and I don't
Mhm.
know, I think they can be really great.
Yeah.
And as we're talking about this, I'm thinking a lot about the new animatronic at Pirates of the Caribbean and how
Mhm.
that could be a test for this because it is
Oh,
skeleton
yeah.
and
Oh,
to
you're
think of
right.
ways they could use that. And I think this is the type of place where it's a perfect fit.
Well, I was gonna say, I hope the
You know what I mean?
reaction doesn't
Right.
deter them because I
Exactly.
don't think it has anything
hmm
to do with the technology. I think it's
I
the
think it's the placement
placement
and,
Mhm.
the,
and what
Yeah.
it
the
was.
legacy.
Mhm.
Yes.
I think this is a great opportunity to use that.
That would
Use
be fun.
the skeleton world as
Mhm.
and show us something like that. I think there will be some good tech opportunities here.
I could see that.
Yeah.
hmm While also over at California Adventure, Avengers Campus is another project where the timeline is becoming clearer. Infinity Defense has moved further into development. That building is up. And the announcement of the test and adjust cast members is suggesting that the attraction is getting closer to actual operational testing. So I think Disney could use D23 to provide some more details, maybe, but I think the biggest reveal may simply be confirming an opening timeline. And I think we're expecting probably mid to late 2027 for this one.
I know nothing about this project, and I know
These are
nothing
not
about
the
the
Marbleheads.
No, I'm excited for you
Mm,
people. I'm excited that you might get some news from this. I'm here with you on this journey,
Yeah.
whatever it may be.
I think this is going to be
Yeah.
one of those attractions where you don't have to care at all about Marvel to
Okay.
love the attraction.
Yeah.
All right,
I
I'm
That's
think
me
it's
and
going to
Katie.
be I think it's going to be like the way that I feel about Rise of the Resistance to
Mhm.
where it's there's so much happening, you're moving so quickly, and we know this ride system it hasn't been used in the domestic parks, it's from what they've used in Tokyo for Peter Pan.
Oh.
And having ridden that, and Katie, you'll ride it soon, it will blow you away. The way that they can move that vehicle, turn you, direct you exactly what they want you to see, and move you around and face things that, they're moving along with you. It creates things that, and when you ride this, Katie, I want you to report back to me, but there are moments in that attraction where you don't know what's a screen and what's not because of the way it's moving you. It confuses your brain to where you're so disoriented in a way that you feel like you're really in there. So I think we're going to get a lot of that with this.
Ooh.
So I think a lot of this may tie into Doomsday. That's why we haven't gotten a lot of it yet. But
Oh.
now that that's coming out soon in December, I think, and we've got the trailer for it. We know, kind of the very very early teaser premise of it. I think they're at a point now where they can reveal a little bit more, and maybe that's why they've released some of that before this panel.
All right. I'm more excited than I was 10 minutes ago
Yeah.
for this land.
And don't forget the Stark Flight Lab, the first use of a Kuka arm at Disney
yeah.
since Interventions.
Oh.
Hell
So we'll
yeah.
get that too. And
Yeah.
that's not going to be a crazy e-ticket, but it will definitely be something.
Mm-hmm.
Awesome. All right. Well, moving on to Avatar. So, Avatar at Disney California Adventure is probably one of the more uncertain projects. There has been some speculation that this project could actually change direction depending on how Disney evaluates current Avatar momentum and other successful franchises. If the project moves forward, we expect Disney would finally provide more concrete details about the attraction, which many believe could borrow inspiration from the Shanghai pirate style approach.
Oh.
I think this is going to be one of the biggest switch ups of the whole night.
Interesting.
I think this is the
Okay.
first time we're going to hear something that was announced at 2024 Experiences Showcase that they have retracted and changed to something new. And I firmly believe this is because of the box office performance of Zootopia.
Mhm.
I think
Ooh.
the fact that that is the number one
Yeah.
highest revenue they've ever done for any animated movie of all time, they know what they've got with that is gold. They've seen the
Mhm.
success of it in Shanghai. It fits the park, to, if you ask me, so much better than Avatar Land,
Yeah.
which is so natural and it doesn't fit anything else in that park. And I think
Mhm.
Zootopia will be the switch up here.
That's so I think I'm kind of alone here. I'm a little skeptical only because this is a huge deal. People are kind of throwing around like, "Oh, they'll change their mind." But like is there another example of Disney just announcing a project and then doing a total theme change? Like it feels like a huge deal, right? And I do feel like like Pandora does very well. I know Avatar's kind of dropped off a little bit, but I don't know, it just feels so like people are just kind of throwing it around like it's nothing. And I do think it could change, but it feels like it's a bigger deal than just a simple, like,
I could see that.
I think you're right. The fact that this would be unprecedented at the level that it's at, because in the past there's not something like D23 announcement style on the level that we've had them at, where now it's this arena spectacular.
Yeah.
In the past, they've been able to announce big projects and let them quietly die
Mm-hmm.
and just kind of never explain what
Mary
happened.
Poppins.
Mary
Yeah.
Poppins. Think about that theater that was announced to go behind Main
Oh
Street.
yeah.
Yeah.
And like you said, none of these are lands. But I think if this is changed, the phrasing is going to be so PR'd
Oh yeah.
to the point where they
100%.
have to explain themselves in a way that is not criticizing themselves for the change and like trying to spin it in a way of like, oh, this was, a positive thing that we did. And it is. I
and
mean,
not
it-
criticizing Avatar because they still have another
Right,
land they have
exactly.
to work with.
Isn't James
Mhm.
Cameron also kind of intense? So like
Yes.
I could see them not wanting to like burn that professional
Right.
bridge. So
Yeah.
maybe just moving forward with this because I can't see them announcing something this large and at Disneyland in California where it's Hollywood Central and then they cancel this and then
Mhm.
they still have some
Mm-hmm.
professional relationship.
Sure.
Like I don't see that happening.
You're
so
right.
I think they're too committed maybe. Maybe I'm naive.
I think that's where I am right where I
Mhm.
am as well, Katie.
I mean, I wish they would drop it. I don't really care for that place. But I don't
And
know.
this could just be a crazy rumor.
Mhm.
If they do move forward with it, I think the attraction that we're anticipating for the ride would be one of the best in the whole park.
Oh,
If
yeah.
they
Uh-huh.
use that Shanghai pirate style attraction, we're gonna get a great ride.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I just personally think it was a mistake from the beginning. I don't see it
Mhm.
fitting for that park at all.
No.
I don't
Yeah.
see how do you go from 1920s, 30s, 40s
Mhm.
Hollywood into a alien universe.
Right.
I mean,
totally agree.
I don't even I'm probably going to be disagreed with heavily, but I don't even feel like it fits in an animal kingdom. I know it's like nature,
you have a
but
point.
I
It's-
don't know.
But definitely much more
Yeah.
there than. But I do think if they make this huge switch, they are going to rethink how they present things at D23
Agreed. Oh,
moving
yes.
Yeah.
forward.
Yes.
Mhm.
Because it doesn't, one time okay, but it doesn't look good moving forward to keep throwing out these projects
And a land.
Yeah.
And a
Especially
land.
how last year the real talking point was everything we announce is in the works. The
Mhm.
dirt
they
is
lied.
being moved. So
Mhm.
so you're right. I think it's going to happen, but I could be very wrong and I could eat those words, but I think when it comes down to it, at the end of the day, if they see a cooling in the
Mhm.
interest of Avatar and there's not some kind of contractual obligation and they see a Zootopia influx
Yeah.
and Zootopia is pedal to the metal. And I also feel like we're going to get an announcement of Zootopia 3 the night before. So I think they know that the IP has a longevity that is upward trending versus downward trending. And I think if they're making this strictly on a business decision, Zootopia is the decision. If they're
Right.
making it based off of contracts and relationships, we'll keep Pandora. And I
Yeah.
think this is going to be one of the most pivotal points of the whole night. And one that I'm probably
Yeah.
anticipating more than anything else is to see them double down on Pandora or tell us and explain what
Mhm.
it's going to be and why they changed their mind and
Yeah.
how that's okay.
I think this was a case of
Yeah.
possibly just jumping the gun. So I had to look up
Mhm.
to see when Avatar: The Way of Water was released. So it was released in 2022. I kind of forgot what year. But anyway, it was already announced that they were working with James Cameron on the new Avatar experience in 2023. So this looks like a case of just possibly jumping the gun, and maybe they didn't entirely see it
That
through.
that's I don't know. It feels weird, and I agree with you, Jenny. I think they felt like maybe this was gonna generate interest and still be talked about, but I feel like it's the same as when it came through it the last time. We're just, like,
Right.
a
Because
couple years too late.
agree. You take a look at, Galaxy's Edge. Star Wars has such staying power, and we know that
Mhm.
from it
Right.
having decades of,
Right.
fandom. So this is just not the same thing. So yeah, I mean, I think if Disney does turn around on this project, it'll be interesting for sure because
Yeah.
I haven't really seen anything like this. Like Stephen was saying,
Yeah,
typically in
right.
the past they'd kind of quietly go away, but this would be a big one to do a total switch up of.
Yeah, I don't know. All right.
Wow, it's funny. This kind of became the talking point of the
I know.
episode.
I
I didn't
know.
expect it. I thought we would just kind of touch on it and go, but it's
Yeah.
gotten me really excited because either way, it's
We
kind
win.
of crazy.
We find out something.
So,
Either
yeah,
way.
we get something good either way. So,
All right. Well, enough
yeah.
about that blue land place. I'm taking us over to Paris. We're going to
Mm.
Disneyland Paris. And this is another resort we're expecting some updates from. So, the Lion King Flume Ride attraction has been one of the most exciting announced projects internationally. And D23 would be a great opportunity to showcase the progress. Maybe they can borrow Marissa's concept art that she made for the
Oh,
Her Lion
God.
King ride.
Horrifying. I don't want to think about it. Too scary.
The big thing though we're looking for is more attraction concept art, animatronic reveals, and how Disney plans to bring Pride Rock and the world of the Lion King to life.
Yeah.
This is another project I
Hmm.
forgot was happening.
Yeah. And
Yeah.
it's well underway.
Yeah.
I think this is going to be very true to the movie. I think it's going to be a book report of Lion King, but I think what they're going to want to showcase here is the audio animatronics. I think the figures
Yeah.
are going to be A1000s. I think they're going to be some of the most beautiful pieces we've seen in an attraction and different because they're not humanoid. So I think
Mhm.
it'll be cool to see what they can do with these types of animal figures.
I also think they just need more attractions out there. So I think like having something that's not necessarily like the most creative, or
Mhm.
not saying the most creative, but like
Most
most original.
innovative.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. Like
Mhm.
they
Mhm.
just need to get more things for people
Yeah.
to build their day up and have
And
them come for longer.
it's such like top tier beloved IP that
Mhm.
it doesn't
Oh,
matter what
yeah.
they
It's
do.
like you open the
People are gonna,
doors
yeah.
and
Hmm.
the floodgates open.
Exactly. I think
Mhm.
I think it'll be beautiful. I think it'll be fun. I think it'll be exactly what that IP deserves after 30 years.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
30 years.
I know. And then over to another international park, Shanghai Disney. This continues to be one of Disney's fastest growing parks, and we could see some updates on future expansion plans for the existing park. Maybe potential announcements could include more information about the new Spider-Man themed mini land and coaster project that's underway. The track is officially completed, so I think we're going to get something here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They are building new hotels, correct?
Yes.
In this area too. So
Yes.
it's like they're preparing for some
They're
expansion.
yeah,
Yeah.
they're definitely preparing for infrastructurally for
Okay.
something big. So,
Okay.
and we'll talk back more about that when we get into some of the long shots and the maybes. But while we're over in Asia, Hong Kong Disneyland is also kind of quietly becoming one of Disney's most ambitious expansion stories and potentially of all time, the way that they've grown that park from what it was. But after Frozen Ever After and the World of Frozen, the resort continues to invest heavily, and we could see some updates on the announced Spider-Man Tower Drop attraction that we got back in 2024 at the D23 showcase. Then we got very little information about it. Then it was just kind of a piece of concept art, and it looked very Tower of Terror style ride system. But a smaller announcement that we could see is more information about the upcoming Pixar entertainment experience they're building. It was announced as part of the 20th anniversary celebration, and it would be very unique to Hong Kong and combining practical sets, digital environments, featuring characters like Mike and Sully from Monsters Inc. Kaity. So you're gonna have to get over there soon.
I'm on my way.
I don't expect this to be a headline D23 reveal, but I think Disney could use
Speak for
the
yourself.
event to. You're right.
Sir.
I think they might showcase some of the technology behind it and how it fits into Hong Kong's continued evolution as a resort.
This park is so foreign to me. Like I can't even picture it. I just have to go there. I need to
It
see it all.
is one of the most
You
charming
liked it,
parks in the
right?
world.
Okay.
Yeah. It's very small, but it
Mhm.
has a feel to it.
Okay.
It just feels like it's yours for the taking, and it's just
Oh.
very comforting.
Okay. Hopefully it
Mhm.
gets some more love this
Nice.
D23 then.
Yeah.
Yes. All right, and moving on, of course, there is no way Disney will miss an opportunity to talk more about the Disney Cruise Line. So expect at least one new ship announcement and maybe more about the Believe ship announced recently.
Yes.
They love a cruise this
They
Yeah,
company.
they've
love a
got wait, how
cruise.
many ships right now do they have in the
835.
But didn't they really announce like 5 coming?
They announced
Like
a lot. So I think there's a
Yes.
total of 13 by 2030 something
Oh
that
my
will be in the
word.
fleet.
Yeah.
So
That's
we've
insane.
recently gotten the Believe announcement. There's another ship in the works that's going to be owned by Oriental Land Company, which is the company that
Okay.
owns Tokyo Disneyland.
Okay.
So
So is that
that's
going to be an Asian?
I believe it's going to be
okay.
based out of
Oh,
Japan. I'm
cool.
not sure. They haven't given detail, but
Oh,
knowing the fact that they are the ones investing in that, it's probably going to be the
Yeah.
best ship naturally just because of the money that will go into it.
Wow.
And then there's 3 more ships that are part of a new class for the Disney Cruise Line called the Meridian class, which will be kind of mid-sized ships. And 3 of those are in the works right now that we know of. So I wonder if we'll
Okay.
get a name for one of those or maybe some details about what those are going to look like since they're a new class size.
okay.
It's exciting.
Jenny's our
know.
cruiser, so
Yep.
I do. It's been a while
Um,
since I've been on one, but we all need to do one together because I still
I'm
can't
ready.
believe.
I'm ready. Katie
Katie,
and
you
I have
haven't been
never
on one.
done one.
Oh my gosh.
No,
how?
I haven't been. I've never been on a Disney cruise. I will come
Mhm.
out of cruise retirement for a Disney
Yeah,
cruise.
Katie's not
Yeah.
a cruiser, but
She's
we'll make her
not a
one.
cruiser.
Well,
All right, get us out of the ocean.
Okay, well, going quite the opposite. One other area we don't want to overlook is gaming. Disney has been investing heavily in interactive experiences, and we think there's a good chance the Disney Epic Games partnership gets some time during the showcase. Of course. We're expecting a deeper look into Disney's universe within Fortnite, potentially featuring explorable worlds inspired by places like Magic Kingdom and Star Wars Galaxy's Edge. And with Kingdom Hearts celebrating its 25th anniversary and getting its own D23 panel, we also wouldn't be surprised if Disney teases some crossover between the franchise and the Disney Epic game ecosystem. It may not be a major parks announcement, but it's another example of Disney expanding the guest experience beyond the physical parks. And Steven and I literally could not tell you what anything was when they announced, I think, some of the Fortnite stuff. We had no idea, but the audience went absolutely insane for it. So,
Eight.
oh my
Yeah.
gosh.
yeah. So
The-
I'm sure they will. Something will be announced.
You know, that's surprising that Katie didn't know because she may not be a cruiser, but she is a gamer.
I know, but I don't know how to play Fortnite.
Oh, okay. So she's not
Okay,
a Fortniter.
yeah.
I think, what is that? Like
Mhm.
they're fighting and stuff. I get too stressed. I need
I
like
don't
nice,
know.
cozy games.
In my mind, Fortnite is. We probably sound like
Yeah, but
dummies, but I just don't. I don't know what Fortnite. I think you go in there and it's like this whole world
You're
thing
fighting,
where you're
right?
doing. Are you fighting? I don't.
It's a battle royale game.
So it is
Oh, okay.
battling.
Sorry,
It's like
sorry. Back to our
Pokemon.
regularly scheduled conversation. Sorry.
No, it's just interesting because, like, I'm not a gamer at all, and I don't really know anything about Kingdom Hearts. But you see how many people are so excited for
Yes.
Kingdom Hearts stuff, and you realize
Mhm.
there's a niche for everyone.
Yes.
There's something
Yeah,
for us all.
That's right.
that's for sure. I will say I have not played Kingdom Hearts, but that is one game that I consistently always hear about with Disney fans that they like love that
Yes, I do
franchise.
too.
Mm-hmm. So
Maybe we should start.
I am
don't
down.
know.
I'm always looking for someone to game with me.
Y'all are listening out there? Katie needs a friend. Because she's not talking to us. All right. So that's all of our locks. We think those things are going to be discussed at the showcase. So let's move into our maybes and projects that we think could happen. Jenny, kick us off.
All right. So first off, let's go into Epcot. So Epcot's the interesting one to watch here because it is the Disney park currently without a major announced transformation project underway. After years of construction, Disney may finally be reaching the point where they can focus on smaller scale improvements and long-term replacements.
And I think there's a big one glaring us all in the face.
Journey to Imagination.
Mm-hmm.
It's probably the most obvious candidate, except for Jenny and I. Cut that part out. Figment has remained one of Disney's most recognizable characters, and Disney has continued to keep the character visible through merchandise and events and random teasers like a video of Figment walking into the Imagineering building. A full attraction overhaul feels inevitable, and the question is whether Disney is ready to announce it now or whether this remains a future project.
I think we could get it. I think it's I'm going to say 60% chance that this is going to be discussed. You know, they've talked about it. I think was it Josh D'Amaro talking about, or was it Bob Iger? One of them talked about how they were working on ways to give Figment more of a spotlight, and whether that was going to be like a series with shorts or, you know, something maybe for the attraction. So I think this could be the opportunity, and that is a big crowd surprise. I think that would get the arena worked up.
Well, you know something too that I'm hearing, because a lot of people think there could be a tie-in to Neil Patrick Harris being part of an upcoming project, and he is a huge Figment fan. So a lot of people are speculating him possibly having some involvement with Figment if it is updated. The other one I'm hearing is possibly Carousel of Progress. Side note. So I hope it's not that one, but I don't know. I could see him being part of some kind of upcoming project.
What if he's the voice of Figment, the new Figment?
Oh.
I don't know.
Maybe.
They're just a random
I don't know.
thought.
That's just something I'm seeing. I like to kind of like creep on other people's predictions too, just because it's kind of fun to see like everyone kind of thinks something different. But that was just an area I was seeing some people kind of throwing out some stuff.
That'd be interesting. I don't know if we will, because I feel like Epcot did get a pretty big overhaul not that long ago.
Yeah.
And we have so many projects that are going on, and Disney, I know they've announced layoffs and it's not necessarily in the park sector, but there's a lot of things happening in the world. So I don't know how many brand new like unless it's like a general like zhuzhing, I don't know if they would really announce a big change for this ride yet. So I don't know. Sorry to burst
if it's not
everyone's
now,
bubble.
I do think it's in the works at some point.
I think it's going to happen eventually.
Yeah.
I think
it may not be their
see
next
a riot if that goes away.
Yeah.
So
I could see them getting through maybe like Monstropolis or like
Piston
Encanta.
Peak,
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Getting through one of those projects before moving on to it. I don't think it'll be very far off, but I'm not sure if I see it right now.
Right. If it's not 2026, you're going to see it in 2028.
Yeah, I think so.
Mhm.
Oh my God, they'd be so done with. Think how many projects are slated to be done by
So
next
2028 is going to be the year to be in the room.
Yeah,
That's going to be the one where you see the future, and I think it'll be heavily looking at Disneyland. But another one, and while we're on the Epcot note, is Wonders of Life Pavilion being another interesting possibility. They announced that Play Pavilion years ago, and it's one of those examples of something that quietly disappeared. And people have noticed there's been a lot of recent maintenance on the dome. They really completely redid it. And so speculation that there may be some plans to move forward here. And potential directions that I've heard are Inside Out or Big Hero 6 or another technology-focused experience, or maybe some combination of the two. People are talking about maybe there's like a health component to it like it used to be. And there you've got mental health and physical health. And that's why you got Inside Out and Big Hero 6. So
Make Epcot weird again, please.
We would love that.
And Big Hero 6. I may have already come up with a concept idea to bring this
That's
attraction
right.
or this movie into Epcot. So I am a fan of putting it here. I'm a fan of bringing it out. I hope so. I don't know if this is going to happen, but it would be really fun.
I think she's the elephant in the room of Epcot, just sitting there unused for years, a decade at this point.
Yeah, what are we doing here?
Yeah.
Stop leaving buildings empty.
I know.
That's Katie's campaign.
Yes, that's my platform.
That's how we lost Buzzy.
That's
I know.
how we lost
We
Buzzy.
can't
He was
keep
sitting there in the
losing
dark.
these.
And he got taken away.
Yeah.
And Steven, I know you mentioned this a few episodes back, but Spaceship Earth is another attraction where the question isn't if, but when. Disney announced a major refurbishment before COVID that was eventually shelved. The attraction is aging and modernization is likely at some point. If it doesn't happen at this D23, we think a 2028 announcement tied to Epcot's next major milestone would make sense.
I could see this before Figment
Interesting.
because it's their centerpiece.
I think this is another one that would be a huge crowd pleaser. I think one of these three is going to happen.
Okay.
That's my prediction is one of Wonders of Life, Imagination, or Spaceship Earth is going to get announced. I think there's been so much attention away from Epcot, they need to put something on it.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Do you
But I also think
Oh, go ahead.
go ahead.
No, well, do you think, so it's kind of similar to what you had in your project, do you think we would be seeing a whole new narrator, or are you just talking
Yes.
about the second half?
I think if they do Spaceship Earth, it's going to be closed for over a year.
Oh, wow.
And it's going to be overhauled in a way that is unimaginable and unprecedented for the attraction. I don't think they're going to take out the scenes that
I was going to
that
say
are,
that people are
from
very
the
tied
beginning.
to those. Yeah.
But I think you're going to see it in a way that we've never seen it before. And I don't know
Okay.
what that is, but I think every show scene will be updated and modernized. I think the ending will be completely different in a way
Yeah.
we've never seen. I think you're looking at that ride going down for a long time. So I think Epcot has to be in a good place to where everything else is up and running
Yeah.
before you announce this.
Yeah.
Okay.
I would agree with that.
Well, I want to go back over to Magic Kingdom now. So Space Mountain is probably the biggest rumor circulating around the Disneyverse right now. Nobody expects Disney to completely demolish and rebuild it like Tokyo Disneyland, but there is growing speculation that Imagineering could modernize the existing attraction. So we think that could include new ride vehicles, new track system, updated queue, modernized entrance, updated show scenes. So we're thinking any changes would likely have to fit within the existing structure. And I actually think that this is a high likelihood. I think it's kind of due for a little bit of a
Oh, I love that
gentrification.
queue, though. Oh my gosh, I love it.
This rumor came out of nowhere in the past 2 to 3 weeks. I mean, and it
Yeah.
went from 0 to 100.
It did.
Mhm.
It's everywhere
Like I've
now.
seen it everywhere. I think Disney's working their way. It's almost kind of counterclockwise from Buzz
It makes
to
sense.
Carousel of Progress, then maybe
But even the mountains.
yeah, all the
Tiana,
mountains.
then
Yeah,
Thunder, now Space.
yeah. So I think we've all thought Tomorrowland needs this big overhaul, but they're doing it, and
Right.
I think it's
Now's the time.
slowly happening. And I think we could see something like this. And I know the queue is beautiful, but I think the queue also needs some updating. The exterior part is ancient.
What if they just modernize it? They don't have to change everything
Yeah.
about it and like
Yeah.
just make some of
Well,
the features
yeah.
more with today's technology or like different things that light up and go from there. But I think I would like for it to get like a updated track or like a new track.
It needs
or
to be
something.
retracked. It's
Yeah.
it's painful.
I think like that.
It's part of its charm,
experience-
Steven.
Is it?
You throw your back out.
Chiropractor
Yes.
visits.
Yeah. So I don't know. I think it's a welcome change. I think it's one of those ones that's beloved, so they have to be careful with what they do.
Yeah.
But I think small touches like what they did for Thunder, and I think that's
Mm-hmm.
I'm
Yeah.
in favor of that. I could see them doing that. When's the last time that ride has been down for an extended period of time for maintenance?
It's been a while, and I
It's been a
wonder
while.
if they can give it new story life,
Yeah.
like they did for Big Thunder, where they release the story ahead of its reopening. Like they
Yeah.
did with the bullion,
Oh yes,
Yeah.
from Disney Sea.
the
or this.
the SEA guy.
Mhm.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So I think that could be a way of doing this, retracking it, updating the the exterior queue, some of the, modernizing some of the interior pieces and giving it a storyline again, because I don't know what it is.
Yeah.
It's just going to
I
space.
don't know. I love passing those astronauts. Ooh, they're
Mhm.
so like eerie
And the
looking.
music.
Oh,
Do, 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 do.
Mhm.
yes.
Do, 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 do.
I think high likelihood on this one.
Yeah.
Now, one final Magic Kingdom possibility is another food and beverage outlet. The transition between Haunted Mansion and Villain's Land feels like a natural opportunity for Disney to create something special there, and a Haunted Mansion inspired lounge or parlor experience would fit perfectly with the tone of the area and continues Disney's trend of creating highly themed dining experiences.
The Murder Lounge.
The Murder Lounge.
Your final meal.
Katie is getting very dark tonight. Yeah.
Mhm.
I miss the Haunted Mansion. I haven't been on it in a while. I feel it
No.
growing through my bones.
Mhm. But I think
Yeah.
we've talked about this before. I think Disney's been testing the one on the cruise ships, and the
Yes.
Yeah.
success of that is something that's definitely translatable to the parks. And so I think
The
we could see
success of
something
Beacon
like
Barrel.
that here. Yes,
Yep.
exactly.
Yeah.
So I think that's the way forward with food and beverage. So
Yeah. I
Ooh, what if
agree.
it was somehow like transitioned you from Haunted Mansion into Villain's Land?
yeah, that could be cool.
Oh, yeah.
Mhm.
Interesting.
I like that. Maybe like some of the paintings of the, changing images or like when lightning flashes, you see Ursula behind to see monster or something, and it's not
Oh.
just abstract or non-branded monsters.
Well, maybe
Oh,
the
yeah.
Hatbox Ghost is one of the villains that
Oh yeah,
is
that's
in
in the
there.
land. True.
Mhm. And that's his
Hmm.
lair.
All right. Well, switching parks, Animal Kingdom remains an interesting challenge because nighttime entertainment has always been difficult due to the animal habitats, but that amphitheater in Asia has been sitting there unused for years. Disney spent the past several years experimenting with drones, robotics, and new technology that could create nighttime or even daytime experiences without impacting the animals. A new entertainment offering would help address one of the park's biggest weaknesses.
That
Hmm.
seating area facing nothing. They spent so
Nothing.
much money on that
I don't
Right.
know.
for it to just sit there empty.
Well, I think now with Tropical America's opening soon, they're going to want to keep people at this park longer. And I mean, obviously the, Animal Kingdom's a half day park, reputation has been around forever. And I think they're showing that they're tackling that with everything they're
Yeah.
doing over there. So I think
Mhm.
getting a nighttime experience would just be perfect for it.
Mhm.
And I think about some of the videos they've shown of like the robotics. There's a robot of like a manta ray that flies above the water. I don't know if you've seen
Oh
this
my
in their
gosh, no.
Imagineering videos, and it's got like a paddle that goes underwater, but it flies and like moves its fins above
Oh,
the water. So I
wow.
was thinking they could do that and use something like that in a way to.
Cool.
I don't know how. So it could be something for Moana. It could be anything.
Mhm.
So I think they've been testing a lot of things, and I'm hopeful that they bring something here, whether it's in the day or the night. But I
Right.
think they really need to look into ways of extending the dark time in the park, because Pandora is such a waste when the park's closing at 5 o'clock in summer.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
They should do like some sort of nighttime event every day there. Like it's something like it changes over to something, and I don't know what it is. Give me more time and I'll come up with it for next season.
Okay.
But I feel like they should have something like that in the evening time where they don't even need a show. Because weren't we just talking about this, that Joe Rody did not like that they
Yeah.
put entertainment in that park? And he's
Yes, he
obviously
didn't like the
back
parade. He
working.
didn't
Yeah.
like Jam and Jungle. Yeah.
Yeah. So like I wonder if there's some sort of like nighttime experience that you could make that like draws it in, that's not disruptive and not that. But
Mm-hmm.
no.
And that also makes me think of what are they doing for lighting for Tropical
Mhm.
Americas, because it's going to be cool.
Right.
And I want to be able to
Mhm.
experience it year round instead of just when the sun goes down at 5 o'clock.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, and they briefly
So.
had Rivers of Light, and I never actually got to experience this. I heard it had a lot of issues, though.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So I assume
I never saw it either.
I never got to see it. So, but I mean, it looked really cool. But I assume ever since then, it's probably been in their mind to try to bring something back at night.
Mhm.
Yeah. Agreed.
Well, we're jet setting today, so we're heading back over to Disney Adventure World right now. They still have room for additional expansion, and the big question is what comes after Frozen and The Lion King. Avatar and Moana are the two strongest possibilities, but Disney may not be ready to reveal that direction yet.
I think this is definitely a maybe. I don't know that we'll get this. I
Yeah.
think the only reason that they would push this forward now is the fact that there have been some leaks and things that were accidental about it being Avatar. But I think the shift may be toward Moana. So I don't know. I think we'll likely not get this, but definitely wouldn't shock me if it happens. But yeah, so these are all of our maybes. I think none of these would really shock us if they happened. We think they probably will happen at some point, but 50-50 on whether we're going to hear them at the showcase this year. But let's move into our long shots. These are highly unlikely that we're going to hear them, but they're not completely off the table.
So, a new pavilion at Epcot. We've heard a little bit of chatter about a new country for Epcot. There was unconfirmed reports of a Brazil pavilion that may have come from me, but
I think it was real.
I'm just kidding. Coming back in 2019, along with all other scrap projects and plans for Epcot that were scrapped due to COVID. But we're thinking this is unlikely. There are numerous expansion pads ready for a pavilion, though. We talked about this when we did do the Brazil pavilion, and that there is extra spaces for them to add lands in as they need them. I think it's a long shot. I'm not expecting that.
I'd love to know the reasons behind why we haven't gotten a new pavilion in 30-something years, nearly 40 years at this point. So I think this would be a blockbuster announcement, headline news if this was announced, especially, the excitement from whatever country it may be. And if it was Brazil, good Lord, the response would be huge and loud and exciting and cool. But yeah, so I don't know. I doubt it.
And we talked about this on our State of the Kingdom last month. A third gate at Disneyland Resort is something fans have been discussing for years, but we think expectations need to be realistic. Disney is already making major infrastructure changes around the resort, and eventually a third gate could happen. The two most discussed locations are surrounding the Disneyland Hotel area and the Toy Story parking lot. But we don't expect this to be a D23 announcement. The groundwork may be happening, but the timing probably isn't right yet.
Yeah, we talked about this on our State of the Kingdom about these rumors. I think it'll happen one day, but I don't think we're anywhere near that announcement.
I don't think so.
Yeah. So I think we can just move on from that one right into Shanghai. I think the future expansion is another very interesting conversation. We talk about it all the time on this show. I think the second gate there feels very realistic. And, probably more than any other, fifth gate coming to Orlando. So let's go ahead and set expectations now that that's not happening. They're not announcing a new gate for Orlando. So don't even, if this were to age crazily poorly,
I'll
great.
eat my words.
Well, I'll be happy to play this on repeat on our episode. They're not doing it, but or on our Instagram. But I think similar to Disneyland Resort, we're not really expecting this announcement for Shanghai. At D23, I think this is something that would be announced in China for the Chinese market. I don't think they would want this to be announced in the US because it's not for us. You know what I mean? Like it's definitely great that we can go visit, but it's for the people of China, and I think they should have their moment to announce that and their time zone. Not in the middle of the night or whenever this airs for them. So,
yeah, I agree. I'm not.
Yeah,
I don't know.
I think they'll talk about Shanghai, and I think they'll talk about all the parks at some point, but I don't think we're going to get much out of that. Whew. Okay, this was a long one, but there you have it. And after breaking down everything from Tropical America's Villains Land, potential new attractions, few surprises we think nobody's talking about, I think it's safe to say there are a lot of possibilities heading into this year's Disney Experiences Showcase.
What's exciting about D23 is that every year there are always a few announcements we expect, a few that completely surprise us, and usually at least one moment where the entire Disney Parks community stops and says, wait, they're actually doing that? We've spent this entire episode looking at what Disney could announce, but now the fun part begins, finding out what's actually coming.
Ooh, this episode has me so excited for D23. And after breaking it all down, I cannot wait to see which ideas actually make their way onto the stage. Whether Disney confirms something we've been talking about for months or completely surprises us with something nobody saw coming. It's going to be an incredible weekend for Imagineering fans.
And if you want to follow along with all the D23 excitement, make sure you're following us on Instagram at Idiots Imagineering. All three of us will be at D23 this year, sharing updates, reactions, and all the magic throughout the weekend. We'll be bringing you behind the scenes moments, our first reactions, and everything happening around the parks. So make sure you're following along.
And before we wrap up, we have a quick season 4 update. It's hard to believe, but we are just 2 weeks away from the finale of our biggest season yet. Our final episode of season 4 will drop on August 10th, right before D23 kicks off. So be sure to join us as we bring the season of Imagineering exploration to a close.
And of course, the D23 coverage does not stop there. We will be back on Monday, August 17th with our full D23 Disney Experiences Showcase recap, breaking down everything Disney announces and sharing all of our reactions from the biggest Imagineering event of the year.
And last time we recorded our recap the moment we got back to our hotel room after the showcase, and the energy was absolutely through the roof. Sorry to our neighbors. After experiencing those announcements in person, we could not wait to hit record. So expect that same excitement this year, because there is nothing quite like talking Disney parks immediately after seeing the future of them unfold.
Well, I want to thank my fellow idiots, Kaity and Jenny, for joining me at what is a very late recording that went very long. And I know we're all very tired, and we're just planning and prepping ahead for what D23 is going to be like with no sleep, bus, club, another club, ride, announcement. But thank you for being a part of this crazy journey. Of course, thank you to everyone who has listened and shared and commented and supported us throughout all of season 4. And whether you've been here since the beginning or you just discovered the show today, we are grateful to have you along for the ride.
We'll see you next week for Project 24, followed by the season 4 finale. And then it's time for D23. And remember, if you can dream it,
You can make a podcast about it. Bye.
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 Bye. We get D23.
See ya.